History remembers him as the bulldog of Britain, the unshakable voice that roared through the darkness of war. But hidden in a locked drawer, buried deep within private papers, never meant for the public eye, lay a secret that Winston Churchill took to his grave. What you're about to hear is not recorded in any textbook or official archive. It is a confession, raw, tragic, and written in his own hand. A page from his life no one ever saw. This is the night the sky went silent. They never ask what I remember, only what I said. History has polished my words like brass. We shall fight on the beaches, their finest hour, and so on. But words are brittle things, easily bent under the weight of memory. What I remember is silence, not the kind that follows applause. I mean the kind that arrives like a noose around the neck, thick, absolute, unnatural. It was the spring of 1940. France was breaking like wet porcelain. The Germans were wolves now, swift, coordinated, unstoppable. London trembled with every wireless update, but I did not tremble. I was the Prime Minister now. I could not tremble. I boarded the train to Chartwell under the pretense of solitude. The truth? I had received a letter that morning, handwritten, unsigned, smeared by rain or tears, I couldn't tell. It simply read, "You promised you'd protect us. Come now, before it's too late." There was no return address, but I recognized the handwriting. It belonged to Marguerite. No one knows about her. No one must. She was not my mistress. That would be almost respectable in political circles. She was something far more dangerous. My daughter. Born in the cold hush between wars in Paris, the result of a night I should never have allowed. I was married then. Still am, technically. Clementine never knew, or perhaps she chose not to know. Women have a way of protecting the walls of their own world. Marguerite's mother, Annette, a French translator I met during my political exile, died in 1938. Tuberculosis. I received a letter, black-sealed. I wept that night alone, in a French hotel that reeked of disinfectant and regret. After that, I supported Marguerite quietly, anonymously. A boarding school here, an inheritance there. But I never visited, not once, until that letter. I arrived in Kent by dusk. The wind had gone peculiar. It rattled the hedges like a child dragging a stick against iron bars. Chartwell loomed ahead, but I did not stop there. I took the Daimler down the coastal road toward a cottage I had purchased under a false name years before. When I arrived, the door was already open. Inside, silence. A child's sketchbook lay on the floor, a stick figure in a top hat holding a balloon. "Papa," it said in red crayon. I picked it up with shaking hands. Then I saw the coat, Marguerite's coat, drenched, still dripping. She was near. I searched every room, called her name, nothing, and then I heard it. Bombers, low, crawling like thunderbugs across the sky. The Luftwaffe. This wasn't a military zone. There were no factories, no airfields, just cliffs and sheep and sea. Why here? The first bomb dropped as I burst through the back garden, a white flash that swallowed the hill beyond. The force threw me into a hedge. I tasted blood and salt and panic. When I rose, I saw her, Marguerite, barefoot in the meadow, clutching a child in her arms. A child, my granddaughter. I screamed, ran, but the second bomb was faster. It did not hit them directly. It didn't need to. The blast cracked the earth. Smoke unfurled like a funeral ribbon. When it cleared, they were gone. Both. No witnesses, no graves. I returned to London at dawn, soot in my lungs, mud in my nails. I told no one. What could I say? That the Prime Minister had a secret French family bombed to ash in a cottage no one knew existed? Instead, I lit a cigar and walked into Parliament with dry eyes and clenched fists. Later that week, I gave the speech history would canonize. We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in France. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. They stood. They roared. They applauded. But inside me, the sky had already fallen. I write this now only because I must not let the lie live forever. I see her face sometimes, in the corner of my dreams, Marguerite, with hair like her mother's, and the child with eyes too young to understand war. I imagine them waiting still, on that hill, just before the sirens began. Perhaps the worst crime of leadership is not the lives one loses in war. It's the lives one sacrifices in silence. I was the man who defied Hitler, but I could not save my own blood. Let history judge me as it will. But let this page exist, even if only as ash in a forgotten drawer, so the truth may breathe once, quietly, in the dark.